Hey guys, welcome back to B-Roy's Barbecue. Today we're doing a pizza oven comparison between a $2,000 Gozney and a $300 Solo Stove. I brought my buddy Scott with me today, so y'all stick around. We're gonna see what puts out the best pizzas. All right guys, so for my pizza sauce, all I'm using is a can of San Marzano peeled tomatoes. You can get this at any grocery store. This is just one can, 28 ounces. And all I'm gonna do is, let's open it up with the can opener. Nothing fancy to this. You don't have to buy quote unquote pizza sauce. You can really just, buy these, season it how you like, and use that as your sauce. Because really, when it comes to, here, I'm gonna fill that up, I don't know, just over halfway. So when I do blitz this, I don't make a massive mess. Let's go ahead and start real slow. All right, so I forgot my herbs inside. This is an outside table pizza time. So I'm gonna put, I don't know, a nice healthy pinch of that in there. It's got some oregano. What else do we have in here? Organic oregano, organic basil, rosemary, onion, thyme, sea salt, red pepper, and garlic. So this is it. We're just gonna stir this up, and this is going on our pies. All right, so tell me about your dough.
Yeah, the dough's real easy. It's 4 things to remember. We got 1,000 grams of flour, and I like a 00 flour. It's 20 grams of salt, and I use sea salt, like as fine a sea salt as I can get. And then 5 grams of yeast, fast-acting yeast. And it's just the package type that you get in the grocery store. And then water. And the recipe that I have is between 600 milliliters and 700 milliliters. And I don't want to get all sciencey on you, but it's depending on kind of where you are and the humidity. Here in Texas, I use about 650 milliliters. Yeah, look at that.
Boop. Okay, let me ask you a question. Going back to the flour. So you 00, obviously, I know a little bit about that. It's super fine. Like, why use that over, say, an AP or Simile or some other type of flour?
Well, what you're looking for really is the gluten to form, and this is where you're going to get the elasticity of the dough. When you're making your dough, you really want it to respond back. You can see right here, I'm just stretching a little bit, and it's coming back. That's what's really going to give that initial crust when you bite into it in that pull, and that's what everybody thinks of when they're thinking of pizza.
Sweet, let's go. I'm excited.
Okay, so here's my technique. There are many, but this is what works for us at home. When you initially stretch your dough, you're not stretching from the middle. You want to create your crust, and I'm just using my fingers, and I'm making the initial crust of what you think a crust would look like on a pizza, right? And then from there, I flip it over, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm making the crust, and you can make your crust as thin or as thick as you want. The boys actually are thinking about making a stuffed crust with cheese. So, all right, from there I flip it up over to the top. Here comes the stretching part.
How do you? Give me the stretching technique here.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is you always stretch from the end of the pizza. You don't stretch from the middle of the pizza. So what we do is we put your fingers here on the edge. You stretch with both hands and turn. Stretch and turn. Stretch.
Like 90-degree turn every time you're turning?
Absolutely. So you can see that it's starting to stretch and it's expanding in size, which is pretty good. So then I want to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Okay.
I'm with you. So how big do you want to get this thing? Compared to, say, the circle?
Right. So the circle here is probably about 10 inch. Usually this recipe will yield about 6 different dough balls. And usually about a 12-inch pizza is good, especially for the ovens that we're going to use today. 12 inches is just about fine.
It's starting to look pretty good. I can never get mine to be like, an actual circle. Mine always come out looking like a triangle or a starfish.
And this technique right here is going to ensure that you have a nice circle pizza every single time. So this is looking pretty good right here.
Yeah, you can almost see the bottom of the board through it, which I'm no expert, but I hear that's a good thing, right?
It really is. And there are some other, for beginners, if you want to stretch your pizzas, you can use gravity and stretch it out like this.
The steering wheel method.
Exactly. I like this, right? So we're good. This is about a good 12-inch pizza.
All right, so do we now put it on the launcher and then put our toppings on and then launch it? Or like, do you like to dress it and then scoop it and then launch it? What's your preferred method?
What I like is to have multiple surfaces, right? So I like to have a stretching surface and not put my toppings on, because as soon as you start adding any kind of liquid or ingredients that are wet, you're gonna actually put that moisture on your board, and you want this to be like sawdust and on a dance floor. You want it to be able to move. So what I like to do is, we'll go ahead and bring this in right here, is I like to get my launcher. And I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna grab some semolina flour. And this is what's gonna keep the dough from sticking to your launcher.
Oh.
So watch this.
Oh.
See that baby slide?
Oh yeah. That's like me and my tap shoes.
So as soon as we start adding ingredients, it's still gonna be able to slide. And my wife says, you know what? We can give it a little shimmy every once in a while while we're adding those ingredients.
I'm gonna add, this is a tablespoon, so I'm gonna start, I've done this a couple times, so I kind of, maybe one more. That's,
so one of the biggest mistakes I think people make is adding too much sauce.
All right.
And also you wanna get it all the way out to the edge. Otherwise your pizza's gonna come out and it's gonna, still look really, really white. And you want that real rich look on your pizzas.
So how am I doing on the amount of sauce here?
You're doing good. I'd probably add a little bit more. Again, these are your pizzas.
Yeah.
You fix them the way that you like to eat.
Okay. All right.
Looking pretty good.
All right, well, I think we're ready for the cheese.
Absolutely.
So I think he's got the cheese in the fridge because he likes to keep it super cold. We've got some freshly grated cheese that's really cold. So Scott, tell me why this cheese and why it's got to be super cold going into the pizza oven.
So a couple things about cheese that I've learned from cooking pizzas. The one thing I'll tell you is stay away from the bag cheese. I know it's easy, I know it's already packaged in the grocery store, but there's a chemical inside that cheese that they put in it so it doesn't all stick together when you're taking it home. So really get you a block of mozzarella cheese. What we use for our 6 dough balls is about a pound of a block of mozzarella, and grate it fresh, and then as soon as you grate it, put it back in the fridge. You want the cheese cold because you're putting it in heat. Unless you like burnt looking cheese, go ahead and make sure it's cold.
This thing is ready to go. Look at that guy. This is an oak wood fire. We got post oak that's burned down in the coals. My temperature right now is reading 1100 degrees in the oven. Let's do this. So where we're gonna be cooking right here is about 750 right on the deck. Let's go ahead and launch this baby. How long we think it's gonna take? Maybe 90 seconds? Something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. You wanna let it kind of just sit there for a second, and you're gonna see, because that crust, you remember that big bubble you popped?
Oh yeah.
It's gonna start forming the same things.
Look at that.
You're looking for just kind of color on the back, and then from here, you wanna get under it and just turn it just a little bit. And from here, you're actively just going to start watching it, especially the back side of the crust. Oh, this is starting to look good, B-Roy.
I'm excited. I did not eat any breakfast, and we're filming this around lunchtime, so we're going to be having some delicious pizza for lunch. And it smells like a pizza parlor right now. How's that Gozney working out for you?
This is sweet. That crust is starting to look so good.
I want a nice little undercarriage and a little bit of crunch.
How are we doing there?
We're doing good. I think it needs maybe a little bit longer.
You know, you can feel the bottom too as you're using this turner right here.
Yeah.
And it's feeling pretty good.
I see what you're doing there.
I said we can go ahead and bring this out and take a look.
I got you.
Okay, there we go. Oh, look at that.
Damn. look at that. How good does that look? All right, guys, this next one, this is the $350 Solo Stove Pie Prime. We're getting this pizza in here right now. Let's see how long this one takes, and let's see if it stacks up to the Gozney. Yeah, so tell me a little bit, I know you have one of these at home, so give me a little more specifics around how you cook on this one and like what you have to look out for.
So the one thing that you have to look out for in the Gozney, it looked like you had a little more visibility inside of it because it's a little bit taller,
yep,
which I really, really liked. This one here, it seems like that we've got to keep it on the deck just a little bit longer. I'm not really feeling that initial crust. So the less you can mess with it at the very beginning, the better.
Yeah, just to let it set. It's probably not as hot on the deck as the Gozney was. We've got definitely some more bubbles up in this one, which I like the bubbles. Definitely a lot more turning and maneuvering to make sure that we get an even cook on this pie.
The deck probably doesn't get as hot, but you really got to be careful with that flame back there.
Yep, because another thing is this is propane. Propane cooks a lot hotter than regular fire. Yeah, just the BTUs that the propane puts out is insane. Why don't you put it back on this launch?
You got it.
Ooh, look at that thing, piping hot. Look at that. All right, so we got our pizza. Guys, it just came out of the Gozney. Look at this beauty. Let me get that pizza rocker and we're gonna cut this baby. We're just gonna do this. Let's slide it off of there. Man, it's like the same size. All right. Come in here, come get you a piece. Get you a favorite piece.
Tell you what, this one looks good right here.
All right, here, let me, all right, I got mine.
Oh, I can feel that crust already on the bottom.
Where I'm not even in the front, here we go.
Yep.
There we go. Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Did you get some of that bacon?
Yeah, Lord have mercy. That is unbelievable. That is so good.
See, it has that initial crunch and then a little bit of that pull.
Yeah, but it's also got just a little bit of chew to it, which I really like.
That's from that 00 flour.
Oh, that's outstanding.
That Gozney is really nice.
All right, guys, so this is the pizza that is coming, or that just came out of the Solo Stove. It looks really nice. It looks a little more done on top. You've got some more burn bubbles on top, but I mean, this looks pretty good too. Scott, get in here and grab you one. It's still pretty hot.
Oh, that crust on the bottom is not bad. I would say it's not as crispy as the Gozney.
Yeah.
But it feels pretty good.
Yeah. Let's see. Look at that. That's pretty good. I'm gonna give this one a try. So you went just slightly different than me. Instead of bacon and jalapenos, you went with black olives and pepperoncinis. Something about those black olives that makes it really, gives it a little more bite, a little more acidity. But that's really good.
I'm telling you, that sauce is dynamite.
Yeah, all that is just fresh, canned San Marzano tomatoes, a little bit of herbs, and that's it. Bliss it up. That's pretty good. I still don't think it is as good as the Gozney pizza though, but not bad if you're trying to cook pizza at home on a budget. Pretty tasty.